So good morning, good evening, good whatever is there in your city or whatever is there in your country. My name is Japrakash Pathak and today I'm gonna attempt to make a search engine. And I'm not kidding, I'm pretty serious about it. So first thing first, right? So I don't want the step. We need to plan this, right? So if you just see and if I just Google this, right? What will I Google? If I just Google like how does a search engine work? So let me close this. How does a search engine work, right? So if I just go to images, you will see roughly, right? Let's leave this images. I'll just tell you the roughly how it works. As per me, right? So there's a crawler which basically crawls the internet, right? And gathers information, index them, right? And then you basically can search it and see information about it, right? Yeah. So that is what I think a search engine is, as per me, right? So, uh, so what we'll be doing is we'll be making our own crawler, which can crawl the internet and find relevant search results. I mean, which will crawl for a while. We'll be filling up our database with a lot of information there, and yeah, we'll be keep on like running it for a while. We'll collect some information. Right now the plan is to make it for Wikipedia, I mean a search engine for Wikipedia probably. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's start. Okay, so let's go to desktop first. So I'll just activate it. So let's go to desktop first, and so let's actually create a folder called what should we name our search engine? uh, Dumb as search. Dumb as search. Okay. We'll be naming our application. Will be okay. We have spelled it wrong. Okay, we have spelled it correct. So let's go inside that folder. So here we go. So we have named our application Dumbass. I'm sorry for the name. I couldn't come up with a better name. Okay. First of all, we have to think about like how will it basically work, right? Let's create like a README file first. Okay. Where we'll actually discuss how this works. So step one will be collecting the like making a system. Okay. Making a system to collect information from the web. Okay, so what we'll do is in this is first thing will be we need some we need to crawl web pages, right? And uh, and parse relevant. I don't know, see, I'm very bad from like in spelling, so just and pass relevant information, right? Right. So here, if you see, we need actually to crawl different pages, like and pass the relevant information, because we cannot like that whole HTML will be getting, of course, but we cannot like you got the point, right? We cannot use that whole HTML as a search index. So that's the first thing. And second thing, what do we need? The next thing we need a web page and a search bar for searching, right? That's the simple. I think we first step will be to make a crawler which can crawl the internet and fetch the relevant information. Put that into your database, and whenever you search something, we have to think on what sort of way we can actually match what you are searching to the result. I mean, that's the point of this video. Let's actually start making. I'm just quite bored by like just. I mean, okay, so we need to make some sort of server, right? So over here, so for server I'll just install express. First of all, let's initialize a project. Dumbass. Okay, I forgot to write a description. I'm the writer. Right. There you go. There you have a README file. I'll just make it bigger a little bit so that you can read it. Okay. We'll be creating an src file, right? So which will be source directory, and an index.js file, which will be the JavaScript file. Should we make it in TypeScript? No, I will not be making it in TypeScript. So let's code a normal like okay. So there would be the app has various parts. This is our main server in the src, right? So the other one is we'll be making a crawler over here, right? So this is a separate app, right? So the crawler will now have like, okay, so first of all, let's create something like, let's create a function called crawl, right? Which will basically crawl the internet, and let's call this, right? Let's start with a URL, right? So let's call it like some URL. Let's start with some Wikipedia URL. So what do you like? Let's start with Elon Musk Wikipedia, right? Let's start with Elon Musk Wikipedia, whatever like is the Wikipedia about him. The idea is to go actually link by link. So we will crawl this page. We'll go to this link, then this link, and we'll be actually creating a. We'll be going to all the links here, right? So then we'll start from the first page and going to all the links there. First thing, my first target is to go through one page, okay? And nesting, like going other pages, we'll be doing after that. I mean, afterwards, not after that. So this is our URL. Current target is basically to output everything in a file. Okay. So okay. Okay. Is equal to require. We'll be using FS for like saving into files and stuff, right? And I think first thing which we have to do is we also need the HTTP library, right? So it's called HTTP. Is it called HTTP? Let me see. We have to actually see the documentation of node docs. Let's see the documentation of node. So I want node version 15, which is the latest version, and I want the documentation for HTTPS. And okay, okay, so it has like a lot of functions. So the function which we want is get, HTTPS get, right? Yeah, that's the function which we want. Okay, so now the best part is this get could actually provide us a stream of data, right? Yeah, to work with, so that like we can actually increase our performance. We do not have to wait until everything arrives, but we'll not be doing in this part. We may write that as an improvement. So we'll be using this HTTPS library. So let's import that one really quick. HTTPS is equal to require HTTPS, right? First thing what we'll do is we'll just say HTTPS dot, sorry, dot come on, dot get whatever the URL is, and what's the second parameter does it basically say? So it gets a response, right? And okay, so we basically say, I hope so my screen is visible to you, right? Okay, so we give, can we make this a little smaller? Thank you. So let's keep this that side, this page over here. Okay, so if we see over here, we have the URL, then we receive the rest as a callback, I mean, which is response, right? And okay, let's call it data, right? So as like this, then we say rest dot on data, right? We receive some data and we say data plus equals to d, which will basically eventually add the data eventually, because this doesn't give you the data like instantly, right? So it's the data event will be called several times as soon as you receive those packets of data to this. By the data I mean all the HTML content, right? So I'll just log that out. You'll definitely see that. Okay, so rest dot on data, right? Then what do we need? uh rest dot on end. Whenever this ends, right, we want to do this stuff. We want to log the data, right? So that will basically give us the data. Now some of you will say like, why haven't you used the Axios or something? Because I did not wanted to. If this can do my work, why should why should I use that? I mean, yeah, I could have, of course. So let's call it node crawler index.js. Oh, see, that's amazing. So we have the HTML content of the website, right? Okay. Now we have to somehow parse this up and get the relevant information from this, right? So there's a lot of data, tons of data, ton of data about like Elon Musk about here, like over here, right? So what we need to do is we need to actually figure out some way to pass some information about, like, from this whole data, right? So let's call it the first function, which is like uh, fetch info, right? This takes some URL as a parameter, right? Let's call it underscore URL, right? Uh, right. So this takes some URL as an input, right? And let's call it like fetch info, right? So we have fetched this info. The next task is we have to make some function to parse this info, right? So now here the target is basically to take out the title of the page and all the content, like the core content, right? So we want to take out all the paras. We want to take out the title, right, which will be a single thing. Right now, yeah, that will be enough. Right now we'll be searching on these two parameters, which is paras and title. That will be enough. Should we do something else? I don't know. We can, I mean, of course. They see there are a lot of online parsers available for this purpose, but I just don't want to use like an online library at this point. Okay, so we have a content over here, which is a large, like, okay, so this will actually, this is a promise, right? So this will return a promise, right? So promise, this will return a promise which will be resolved, and reject as a function will be getting, right? So what we'll do is whenever like if this happens, right, so we'll just resolve this as like data. This simply, and for like the asynchronous behavior of this whole thing, we are doing this, we are wrapping this into a promise, right? And if any error happens, so rest dot on error, right? So if there is any sort of error due to which this is thing, I think we get an error as a fallback, and we'll reject this with that error, right? So that's the fetch info, right? So okay, now fetch info is working quite good. The next target is to basically, first thing is we get the info, right? So let's make one thing as an app, right? The function, these are utility functions, and yeah, let's call this uh, uh, data collector .js, which will which have the sole purpose of collecting data. So we can simply like have this fetch info function over there in the data collection file, right? We would have like a lot more other, like even like the other like parsing thing is also a part of data collection, so we'll have all those over here, I think. Okay, so let's import the https is equal to require https, yeah, that's fine. So now let's export this one, because we cannot export this one because we are not using like ES6. So we have to say module dot exports is equal to fetch info, right? So now the fetch info could be used over here, right? So yeah, this is our main app, by the way. The URL, we can just keep it over here, and we can say a function uh, run. This is our function. So async, because that promise which we just created will be like asynchronous, right? And we'll be calling a run over here. So running, right, running our crawler, right? So first thing which we get is we get the data. uh, so we'll just write a wait, right? uh, Fetch info, right? And we'll just pass the URL over there. So now we'll have the data, right? So just to make sure this is working, I'll just log the data out and try to run the application right now. So uh, yeah, it's working fine. Yeah, it's working fine. So we are getting the data right now, as per like as far as like now we are getting the data. Next thing is we have to parse it, right? So let's make that happen. I mean, function parse data, right? So first of all, we'll have to define what all things we need. We need the title of the page. That's the first requirement. Second requirement is all the paragraphs. So let's call it paras in the page, right? Then we will need what? I don't know. First of all, let's try to write a parser for these two things. First of all, this is for the, okay. Let's make a heading as well. So headings, right? So this will be an array. This will be also an array of string, right? So let's start with title. So title, right? So we get some data over here, which is of course a string now, right? So you can even, we can even write like a function which will have like data as string, the the HTML that we get, right? So yeah, now the title passing. What we'll do is we'll say data dot what, uh, data dot split with like space dot for each word. I don't know how much successful will it be, but let's try it out. If it works, that's like, if this works, then that's good, right? If it doesn't, then it's okay, it's fine. If that doesn't work, simply, okay. So now what we can do is we can just have like a temporary variable over here, which will be title started, right, is equal to false. So if the word is equal to like, if the word is equal to title, which is like, if it starts with a title word, right, what we'll do is we'll say started, we'll say title started is equal to true, because this has started, right? And right, wait, and if word is equal to like the end of a title, right, then title started is equal to false, right? Because that will be the end of the title. And then what we can do is we can just keep on adding if the title started is true, right? uh, we can just keep on adding whatever word we are getting. So we can say title, uh, not this one, title plus equal to whatever word which we are getting. So that will basically give you the title of the page. I think so. So we can log the title out, right? Let's run the parse data function from the index, right? So it will be parse. Okay, we are not exporting it. Wait. So we need the parse data function as an import, right? And we can pass the data to it, right? Let's try to run it. Let's hope so we get the title. Otherwise, we'll be making it better. Okay, we do not get anything. So our algorithm doesn't work. We'll see. We have to think like what. Okay, so this doesn't work. Why it didn't work? We have the data. We have. Okay, this is fine. I mean, this is okay. This has the issue. So let's do one thing. Data dot. For now, like just once. I just want to see the data. So what I'll do is I'll just write this whole HTML which I get into a file right now, just for testing, because the whole thing doesn't get logged. So I'll just write this whole thing into a file to see what is there. Okay, so I can say fs dot write file sync or write file. Okay. Then we can say we also need a path, because like to get the location where we want to save it. So path, and then we can just pass I believe path dot join the current working directory and output dot txt, right? Then coding will be utf-8, right? And do we get a callback? Okay, so output dot txt, right? And I think next is the content of the file which we want to give, which is data. Let's see, does it even like works? I'm not pretty sure. Write file sync, right? So let's see, do we have a new file with like, yeah, we have. Okay, we have the HTML content, and we actually have to see like, okay, the reason why it wasn't working was very evident, because we were actually uh wait a second, we were actually splitting by space, and this thing is actually stuck to this, right? So this whole thing was actually a word which it couldn't find. So we have to do like starts with, ends with, anything like that. Actually, we'll have to make a better splitting criteria. Okay, I have an idea. What we can do is, I believe, right? Uh, we do not need this one right now. So what can we do? Well, let's go to a previous approach and like change few things. Uh, okay, let's change few things. Instead of like equal to, let's make it like dot starts with. I don't think so. This will work 100% of the time, but still, like starts with this or ends with doesn't matter. So word dot right. Similar thing what we'll be doing is for this one, which is the second case, and that would actually fix our thing. So we have to do like this. See, to make it like much more reliable, what we can do is we can have like oh, what is the issue? Okay, so yeah, let's check it now. I think now we might get the title. I think so. We're still not getting title. Come on. Uh, do we have any HTML parser like available online for Node? Node HTML parser. Right. So we have we have a Node HTML parser available. Now, what all features does it have? Hmm, that's cool. We can use this one. I think we can use this library uh, for this purpose. Instead of making our own parser, we can use this library. I think it would be way hell lot like easier if we do this way. I don't know how does this work. Yarn add. Okay, let's check how does this thing works. So uh, it's pretty much src index.ts. Nothing important over here. Parse.ts. Okay, nothing important over here. Why doesn't it have anything, man? Back.ts. It also doesn't have anything. Doesn't have anything. Node html.ts. What is this? Okay, here we have all the codes, and here's the full parser, I believe. Okay, that's cool. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll simply import the uh, the thing, right? So we'll say let parser is equal to require node html parser, right? And then we do not need any of these things. So we already have a parser. We just need like all these three information. I think we can fetch it quite easily now. So let's actually go here and actually read like how does it work. So we have like a root, which is like we get parse as a children for this. So okay, and then what we do is we say let parsed is equal to parse data, right? Once we do that, we can actually say okay, root dot first children dot structure. That's cool. Then query selector. Okay, there's a query selector as well. Okay. Okay. So let's use the query selector. I think we'll be able to grab the title with that. Will be able to. I don't know. Uh, let's check. What do we have there? So can we say title is equal to parsed right dot 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 child node, exchange child, last child node type. Do we can we fetch it like with element? Get element by tag name. That's what we want. Is it a function? First thing. Yeah, it's a function, and then we you give the tag name. The tag name is title, and let's see what do we get now. Oh man, we are getting something. Head, a raw tag name title, a raw tag name head. So okay, wait. How I'm supposed to like use this now? Then like join cat map. Okay, this could be an array. Got it. So whatever, I think this will be only one, so I can just get it at 0. Then what will I get here? Uh, again, man. Okay, a raw text. That's what we need. Okay, so do we like what do we have now here? Uh, inner text. That's what we need. Can we have anything here? Finally, we have we have our okay. Actually, I was like not getting a gist of what this is all about. So now I have it. That's cool, man. This parser is really great. We can actually have like we can say paras is equal to parser dot uh, get attribute by element name, and this time it's p, which is paragraph tag, and dot map. I want to map each element, and then I can say sorry, then I can say element dot inner text, right? And then I'll just try to log the paragraph as well, so we can see all the paragraphs out there. So paras, right? So now the parsing is just like a breeze. This will be a very long content. Yeah, was expecting something like this. Wait, why the hell are we even like logging all these? Okay, these are from before. So these are the paras available. I mean, that's cool. Uh, so oh, that's a string. So yeah, we have all the things. We have the paras, and we have the text. We have the now we need the heading, all the headings. So if it is like h1, so all the h1 tags. So paras, sorry, headings is equal to parser parse dot get element by tag name. uh, can we give like commas, and can we separate multiple things? I don't know. Can we do that? So let's do it through h1, right? First of all, dot join, not join, dot concat with some another one. uh, okay, let's remove the heading one right now. I don't think so we'll need this, like the title, and this is enough. Okay, we definitely need a description. So from whichever is the first para will be the description. Okay, so title and paras we got it, and yeah, and we need to save this thing into some sort of database. I'm planning to use SQLite at this point, right? uh, let's actually use SQLite. So let's call it like SQLite 3 npm, right? We'll be using this to save our data, which we have actually, which will be we have collected. So let's actually clear this out. Uh, we need to do like yarn add instead of, because we are using yarn. Right? So SQLite 3. So we need to, okay. So actually we need to save our data, and I'm thinking like how will I, like what will be the table structure. So like the paras are like too much, right? So can I have like 1,000, 10,000? Like how will I basically save an array of this thing? Wait, I need something else. Can I use something like a JSON structure? Maybe. MongoDB like SQLite. I just search very bad, but still like okay, yeah, that's what I want. I want a MongoDB alternative to like SQLite. It's called MongoLite DB. I know this question asked 5 years ago, but just completeness check embedded. Okay, it's not ready yet, but yet embedded version DB on the longer roadmap. It's called any DB, I think, which is there. I don't know how much things can we do from it, but should we use any DB or should we use SQLite? Because I don't know like how do not have like a lot of experience working with SQL. I have like a quite a like little bit of experience. Like I have decent experience working with MongoDB and all those like NoSQL databases, but they're not very like the speed cannot match. Okay, you you can use any DB in the in-memory database for persistent whatever. So how to store a really long text in SQL? Store large amount of text in SQL. So varchar max is available only in SQL files and this will stop up to 2 GB and can be tested as regular varchar. I don't know. In SQL 2005, higher varchar max is indeed the preferred method. The text type is still available, but primarily for backward capability. Okay, let's be rude to SQLite and let's put all our data, all our paragraphs there. Okay, so this is how you're supposed to do it. I mean, this will not be an in memory for sure. So let it will be let's db be is equal to require uh SQLite 3 whatever. So first of all, what we'll do is we'll return this from here. So we'll just return the title and the paras. Right. So we have these two things. Then what we can do is we can just like this is for single one, right? So we can have a write database write call. So write to db. Right. So I think parsing is okay, but data collection cannot be like we should not do it over here. Let's like do all the SQLite stuff in the index crawler itself. Right, so we can just provide some documentation over here. URL with your file string, URL from which you want to fetch information, right? Right. So yeah, that's the URL and that's the string. So then after what we can do is uh, we can have like const db is equal to require SQLite 3. Let's call it like SQL 3, SQLite 3, right? And let's check the documentation what how they have done it. It's called db, okay, and okay, there's a like a verbose sort of method, okay. And what we can do is we can say db is equal to SQLite dot database, and then you can provide a database name. We'll be naming it as like data.db, something like that, right? So yeah, something like that. So there's like a new keyword as well. So all right, so we have the db over here, right? So we can pass we can have like pass data. So we can have like uh, if you see like we can have like what were we having, title and paras, right? So like title and paras over here, and mm, I don't think so this is an asynchronous function, so this will be fine, I believe. So after that, so let's write a function which will be like for initial setup. So function init setup, uh, which will be setting up everything initially. So we'll say db dot execute exec, right? So uh, what will our SQL be? So this is for creating table, right? Initially. So let SQL uh, so it will be something like create table if not exist, create table if not exists uh, data, crawl data, crawl data, right? And then with what we can do is we can just provide like first id, like an id to every thing, which will be of type varchar, which will be of type varchar, right? Of maybe like 400 characters, right? Then we'll have like we'll have like a title, right? This will be also a type of varchar, right? By the way, id cannot be null. Same with this, it cannot be null. And then what we can do is we can just have like title and paras. Now here's the issue. This will be a varchar, and as per the documentation, we can have like a max sort of thing. Let's see if this throws error. We'll be changing that. That's pretty much it, right? Then we can have a callback, and if like there's an error, we'll definitely know that. You can say if there is an error, then log the error, right? So it's an error, so it should be of type error, right? And else if there is no error, you can say created the crawl data table successfully, right? That's the initial setup. So we'll just call it over here, and let's run this app. Okay, we have an error. So we have error somewhere, I don't know. Create table if not exist data crawl id. Okay, the title, we haven't given like an length to this. Let's give it like 2000, right? I don't think so any title will be larger than 2000 words. Okay, we still have an error. So near max, so there is like nothing called max. uh I don't know how should I handle this. uh so let's call it like SQLite. I mean, yeah. Use text. Okay, so it simply says use text type. That will help. Okay, even like the blob type, you can use blob type to hold long string. Okay, so let's use blob type. I believe that will help instead of using varchar, right? So let's use blob. That can hold a very large piece of information, right? And now we can actually, oh, finally successfully done. Okay, so we have a table created. I think we will have a database created somewhere. You can see data.db. That's the piece of data which we'll be crawling through. I mean, so it's been like 1 hour and we have created our crawler. Okay, so yeah, we can just move this back, maybe clean it a bit. Okay, so next thing, we need to insert this information in that database. So okay, and second thing, we have to also go recursive, so we have to fetch all the anchor tags, right, and then actually get the links out of them. So that is also what we have to do. uh yeah, let's try to insert one of the data. So db dot uh I think some of the functions I don't remember exactly of SQLite. Okay, we must have a doc, right? Documentation. Yeah. Okay. Let's move ahead and let's say db dot. Let's do it the old-fashioned way, right? So let's call it insert into crawl data. So we need some ID, right? Let's get some random numbers. So some ID. For now, like just for this testing, I'll just put some any ID right now, right? So anything, uh, anything. Okay. And then what we can do is we can have like a title. So that will be like this one, and then we'll have like a paras, right? Which will be okay. That's an array. So we need to actually join that, but join that with something which we can again extract. So right, so it will be paras dot join with uh, double like double that will be like various paras, like different paras, right? So yeah, or join them with spaces. We don't care about various paras, we just care about that information, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it. So we can just have like this, quotes. So we have all the three information which we need. And next thing, we'll have a callback. So we'll have a callback and error. So if there's an error, then log the error. Okay, error out. Otherwise, data log data inserted successfully. I should scroll up. I believe a bit up. So otherwise, what I can do is I can just call like data inserted successfully, right? That will basically mark that the data has been uploaded, that data has been inserted successfully. So technically, if I just run it now, oh, we have an error. So it says near OW in here. Where have I written OW in here? I don't see. Insert into. Okay, there's an issue in this, right? Uh, the issue might be like this text might not be sanitized. This text might have double quotes. So you can see OWNER. We don't have owner anywhere in this whole thing, right? What can we do? Let's actually sanitize this. I mean, before sending over here, we can say paras is equal to paras dot map para, a single para, right? Return para dot split, right? So we want to split every character. Dot filter, we want to filter like uh, so we want to filter like double quotes, like quotes, all the quotes. There should be no quotes. I think that's pretty much it. We don't care anything about like anything else. Dot join back, right? Yeah, that should, I think, solve our problem. Okay, there's something else. Uh, okay, is not a function. Okay, sorry. This should be a condition. So you get a character over here, right? And the char should not be equal to like quote. That's the thing. Again, we have an error, incomplete input. How can I remove like this like commas and stuff? That's tough. That's tough. By the way, this is not a very good way to do it because like SQL injection is like very easy with this. So any website having any SQL stuff will basically be executed. So it's not very good, but still I'm thinking like how can I make it work? It's hard. Okay, what we can do is we can just have like a file, like every para saved into like every para saved into a file, and that file name, like every file will have a unique ID, and that file name will be saved in the database. We can do this, I think, which will be much more efficient. Not at all efficient, but we'll do this. I think it will be better. So yeah, let's delete our data, whatever this is, the database, right? And we will just creating this is okay. It will not be paras, it will be like data file ID, right? So we'll be using a library called UUID, which will actually help us to generate unique IDs. Yeah, and add UUID, right? So we have added that. Now what we can do is we can just import that. So we can say UUID is equal to require, right? UUID. Can we import this as like the version 4 as UUID? Okay, as not a keyword. Okay, we want to just import the version 4, and we can just, it is not a blob anymore. So this is a simple like a varchar, and I think this would maximum go 1000 line. It cannot go any more than that. Yeah, yeah, that's what I believe. Now what I can do is I can just take this and I just say like lot file name, right, is equal to file path is equal to, we need to actually import fs right now. So we can say const fs is equal to require fs, right? And we can say fs, sorry, we need path, not fs. Of course we will need fs, but we need path, right? So which will be require uh, path, right? So we have path and fs over there, and we can just say path dot join, right? So this could be like whatever dictionary name I'm working with, right? And then it will have like the file name, which will be the v4, right, plus dot txt. So that will be a txt file, right? And with this txt file, right, we'll have a path, but the file name, right, we can save the full file path. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let's increase this to something like 5000. I think no file path would be like more than 5,000 line, 5,000 characters. So this will be a full file path, right? It will not be a file ID, it will be file path in the system, right? And then what we can do is we can just save that. So instead of like this full para and stuff, so we can just say file path, and I think that will be okay. Next thing what we can do is we can just actually save this file, right? So we can say fs dot write file sync, and we can just say uh, file path, right? And we need content, so we can have like uh, paras dot join with like, I don't know, should I like join them with like slash n, which is like every para in a new line, right? So yeah. Do we like will do we have like some sort of callback? No, we don't have. Okay, it's fine. So let's see, does it like even works or not? So why do we get this error every time? So crawl, this is okay. Insert to this, and this like will be value. So my SQL command was wrong. My bad. I think previously also we were doing correcting. Okay, no such table as crawl data. Okay, what was the table name? Okay, it's fine. We have this as a table, right? So there was a spelling mistake in the table name. Yeah. So we inserted our first data pretty successfully, and we see like there's a lot of files made with the same content. The reason is we just ran it so many times. So let's delete them first, right? First thing what we'll do is we'll just put everything in the data file. So the scroller will have like a data file. Uh, we can just have a data file created like outside this. So we can have like a data file maybe. And what we can do is we can just say this apart to join this plus uh, dot slash data, right? Let's try to run this now. Let's see, what do we have, what do we get? We get our first file with like a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff about Elon Musk from here. I don't know, we get like several blank spaces. So I just want to like filter all the I don't care, let be. Okay, so we have actually done this, that we could actually collect data and we can store it. Now we have to do it recursively, right? So either recursively or like we have to find all the links and do the same thing for every link again and again and again. And this is going to be like going crazy. Okay, so uh, uh, data saver.js. So this will contain all the functions which will save the data. So function save data in db, you'll have to pass the db over here, right? Db and so we need paras, db and title, and what do we need, what else will we need? Path, file path, and what else do we need? And id. So I think that's okay, right? So that's fine till now. And this will return the object id. So this will basically be okay. So db.exec, right? This will execute the same command which we wrote over here. I think this whole thing will be same. So we can just cut this from here, paste this over here, right? And file path title, and this will be different, right? So this will be let id be is equal to we have to actually import uid over here as well. You'll have to say let is equal to require uid, right? And we can have like the version 4 over here. right? So we can have like version 4. Then what we can do is we can have like this one over here, uh, id, right? Why have I done this one? This is not required, right? So I can just place this like this one, right? There's always a new id, right? And I believe file id is also like not required. This is like the file id and document id can be different because for obvious stuff. So I can have like a file id over there. I don't know, file path. Yeah, file path. So what I believe is file path could be like generated over here only. We do not need like a different thing to do that. By the way, this parser is also not required anymore. Okay, so I don't know. File path is not required anymore. No, the file path will be used by this fs write whatever function, so we cannot like create it over here, right? Let be, let be, let be here. It's fine. So we have executed that, and then we have like this error thing, and then we basically return the ID if you wanna use this. It's up to you, right? So that's the save data in DB function, and then we have a function called save uh, paras in file, right? That will basically be saving everything in the file. So I think we have already written a function for that. So, but still, like, let's import this. Fs, we'll be writing a better version of that function that will be like require fs, right? So then we can say that we pass the paras, right? Then we say fs dot write sync, write file sync, what write file, right? So then we have like file path, of course. So we need paras and we need file path, right? So which should be reversed, but that's fine. We can say file path, and what else? We have the file path and the content, so which is like paras. We can say paras dot join, right? Join by what? Slash n, which is, yeah, that's what we are doing over here, right? Yeah, that's what we are doing over here. So what does this return? This is a void function. Okay, wait. The callback function, it takes, there's a callback function. So error, right? So we can have this as a like, this can return a promise, right? Uh, okay, and we can check like if there is any error, then we'll say reject it, right? That there was an error. Else, okay, I can generate the file ID over here, I believe. That's completely fine. File path and return that as a resolve. Yeah, that would be fun. Okay, I can have this complete function over here, right? And I can resolve this. I can resolve file path because that's what we need. Like if we don't get a file path, that means the file doesn't exist and we cannot push it to the database. So save file, save whatever this is. Save parse and file. So this function will basically save it in the database. I mean, save it in like the file, and this will be saving it to the database, a single file data, right? And now, why, if you're thinking like, why the hell are we separating this out? Because we want to do it like multiple times for every information available out there. This is going to go crazy like pretty soon, but we'll do it, right? And then, okay, then we don't care about these things. Of course, we can do this, but we can fetch the information about a URL. What we will get one more thing from like the data collector. which is like all other links. So we'll get links, okay, which will be an array, of course. So we can say links is equal to parsed, right, dot get by tag name anchor tag dot attribute. Can we get an attribute of that? Dot map uh, a tag. So a dot get attribute. Now href, that's that attribute which we need. Oh, that's very much easy to work with. This library is like really cool. So we want the href attribute out of this anchor tag, right? So get attribute, right? I believe that's the links, so we can even send that as well. Yeah. So right. So async function collect info starting URL. Now will be a recursive function. This will call it, like, call itself uh, many times. I don't know. Should I make it recursive, or like recursive will not be a good idea. Let's write a loop for this, I think. So collect info, right? Then we can write this one like over here, and we can just call like collect info, right? So I think we'll get like, for now, like let's log data links for now. Let just to see. So we are getting undefined. Let's, okay. It will definitely be undefined because we are not uh, parse data. We are not calling the correct function. That's the reason. So we can get like several things from here. So we can get like paras. We can get like, we can say this as like parsed info. Okay. So for now, like just for checking, I just want to log parsed info dot links, right? And I think that makes sense. Oh my god, it is like slash. That's not what we were expecting. So there's like some is undefined, right? Because in some of them it is not there. So here's like few conditions, because some of them are actually linking to the same page again. What we want to do is we okay, this is not very good. I mean, this is like these. Uh, yeah. So we actually need to improve the links part. So let's go to data collector, and we have to write another map thing from over here. So we'll have to say like links, sorry, uh, links dot map, right? Links is equal to links dot map. Link, whatever link we get, we want to actually say that if link dot starts with like uh, slash, what was that, slash wiki, right? So if like it is a Wikipedia website, then return okay, we need a URL as well for parsing. We need a URL as well. So we can say URL plus whatever the link is, right? Hmm. Yeah. Else, if that is not the case, right? Else, if that is not the case, return the link, right? And we want to just do one more thing. We want to filter this with like link not equal to undefined, or link not equal to like an empty string, or link, it should be and actually a link not equal to null. So these shouldn't be the property. This shouldn't be the case. Let's replace all of these from like this to and. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And now let's try to like get this running. Starts with, okay, the problem is it cannot read like starts with if like this is the case. So I think I should run this filter before actually running this. So I should run this like before, right? So I said share like this, right? Now this will not be the case, and this error should not come technically. Okay, we have undefined, undefined, undefined slash whatever. The reason why we have undefined over here is, but these didn't start with wiki. Definitely it starts with wiki, right? Okay, this one was previous one. So we have undefined because we haven't passed the URL over here. So we need to do that. Data, and we need to pass the what, I don't know. We need to pass the URL. So which is like URL, right? Is like, does it have like Elon Musk? Okay, this should have like a Wikipedia slash, which is the data. So it like technically we do not need an URL. So we can just omit that, and we can say this thing. So now I think we'll get a lot of URLs with a lot of links. That's exactly what we want. So these are the links. These are various links which were there in the web page, and we actually have got them. So we'll be doing the same thing with each one of them, right? So how will we do that? I don't know. We'll try, right? So let's do it for this page, and then we will go through each of those pages and we can just do it. So passed information, passed info dot links dot for each link do few things. The first thing which we have to do is for each link is pass them. So parsed link, or let's call it data for now, or like PRSED data, right? Pass data is equal to parse data, right? Data, right? First of all, we have to fetch it, right? So we have to fetch it. So let's call it info for now. This is not for testing. We have to write basically a recursive function for this. So we get this this thing, we get this link over here, and then we have the data, which is the past data, right? And we want to save this. So first of all, we'll just save parasin file. Okay, we'll have to export this thing. So we have to say module dot exports is equal to save db save, not twice. This one will be the second parameter. We don't want to export this twice. So save data in db, save data in file, and we want to say like let file path is equal to save data in save save parse and file. So it needs first of all the paras. So we can say parse data uh, dot paras, right? Then it needs a file path. Wait, it needs a file path. How can I give a file path if like okay, this doesn't need a file path? By I think I have by mistake I have mentioned this over there. It doesn't need that. It generates of its own, right? Then we get a file path and we can pass this file path to save it in the database. Save DB in the database. It needs a DB, which is will be definitely giving that. Next, it needs a title, so we can say pass data dot title. Next, it needs file path, which is the this one, right? And let's run it. This is going to go crazy. So this is like info, which we need to pass over here, right? Let's see how does it go. I think this thing is like wait. Uh, this is like this should be also like not like this. I mean, how we made this. This should be a promise. Return new promise. Resolve reject. Right. So this should be like this. Right. And this, if this error comes, we'll be simply rejecting this. So so we'll be rejecting this with this error, or we'll resolve this without any kind of thing. Okay, we can resolve this with the id, which like it has created. So instead of return we have like an id. So we have saved data in db, right? I think this is not asynchronous, but whatever. Save data in db, right? So now this we can write this like wait, let file id is equal to let data id or id, let's call it, like, right, equal to wait for this. By the way, these things might throw error because we have like so we have to like put that in a try catch block, right? And then we log there was, if there any error happens, right, we'll log that error, right? And if it doesn't, so we'll log uh, file id this inserted successfully. Okay, and we can just have a count. So we can have a global variable called count. Let count be equal to 0, right? And like for the first, let it be 1, right? Okay, let it be 0, and we can have like it over here, right? And we can just show it like in a small box sort of thing. Let's put it like not over here. We can put it in the starting. That's the counting number, right? And before doing anything, just like count plus equal to 1, right? Let's try to run it. I'm sure this will throw error. Sure. Await is only valid in async functions. Okay, this should be an async function. So we already have an error. It says connection refused. Uh, what is the error? Error connect address 443 refused. Oh wait, has has this cannot be possible. Has Wikipedia blacklisted us just because we just try to mess with it. Like, is that the case? No, that's absolutely not the case. So first, let's check like this, like till here, like like okay. What I can think of from here is like a lot of them is undefined, which shouldn't be the case because I think okay, whatever. So let's do one thing. Uh, like if the link is not equal to undefined, then we can say this. Do this. Path is not defined. Path is not defined. This is like a constantly coming. So path is not defined. Where in the file saver, we haven't like imported path. Let path be equal to require uh, path. I think. I thought like till now data would be going like crazy. Okay, so let's start now. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! This is going crazy. This is going crazy. We have so many files. Okay, my computer will explode. Okay. Okay. Wait. I just want to verify. Wait, yes, man. Everything has a different file. Okay. So my first question, why does it have all the same IDs? Uh, I don't know. I think we should write a for loop because I have heard, like this is my not my I'm not sure about it, but I've heard that desktop, dumbass, data. We have thousands of file, man. We have thousands of file about like various Wikipedia pages. So this is like sending thousands of requests per second. I think we'll be blacklisted very soon. But I'll just go on and delete this like permanently. Oh my god, this is going crazy. And I'm gonna empty my recycle bin. Okay, so okay, we have successfully made this. I mean, this is working. I believe we should not use for each over here, for each over here, right? It's been like 1.5 hours. We have made only the crawler. We are really like I think this is the heart of the whole thing. We can use like uh, we can use like that. Making the whole front end thing is like very easy. Starting URL. Let's put that this thing in action. I mean, going only through one page can do this. Just imagine what would be the case if I'll just start going through like every page. Uh, right. So, okay, the count doesn't work for sure. Uh, I think we can just have it like locally. Okay, it doesn't matter, right? And second thing, we can just have like for let I is equal to 0, I less than parsed info dot links dot length I plus plus, right? Uh, let link be equal to parsed info dot link at I, right? And then we can have like this whole thing there, right? Yeah, that's looking sick. Let's try that again. Let's this time try it on my console instead of like my VS Code, I think. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's writing. It's writing. It's writing. We have 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, it's finally doing it. So let's try to like go through all the links, and I just want to see like how many links are there in like my current file. Uh 40 files, uh desktop, uh see, this is literally synchronous, because what we were doing before was not synchronous, because for each actually doesn't care if that function is synchronous or asynchronous. This basically will return a promise, and it will try to execute all of them like at a single time. We have like 110 files approximately processed. I also want to log like the URL for which it is processing. I think that would be quite cool. Yeah, I want to do that. Uh, okay, we have a database ready which can actually which can go on like certain things. I think this is like very well, like this has like a lot of information about Elon Musk and things related to him. So you can basically search about him right now. We can definitely make this better. I mean, we have like 158 data right now, but we can make this better for sure. Uh, so yeah, I think that's all the files which we have. We could have like stored this in the database itself, but it's now here. Let's try to do it like let's try to store it in the database itself. Like, could we do it? I don't know. That would have been like so much better. Uh, yeah. Okay, so we have our database ready. That's something which we have done. So the next task is most probably to make a front end. By the way, this algorithm is not the best, of course, I agree, and we'll be improving this one, right? So it's not going recursively into every link which is provided and then trying to do that thing. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I have like I have like crazy ideas for this, and I can make this recursive for sure. But yeah. Okay, I don't know how actually are we going to search for the information in the files, but we are gonna do it somehow. I'm not sure. Let's actually not do it like not save it in the file. Let's try once to save it in the database, because that will make our work easier. Yeah. Hmm. Mm, yeah. So this function save paras in file and then save paras in database. We'll just pass database like paras as well. So paras data dot 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 what's the time, by the way? It's 12:11. It's fine. I can just code for 2 more hours, most probably, or I can just go to sleep in next half an hour. I'm not sure. Like what, however I feel. So if I feel that I want to finish it tomorrow, I'll this will be like the part one, and that will be the part two. Most probably you'll get it by tomorrow. So there's not a, like a lot of wait, but whatever. Paras dot data will be what? Pass data, file data. Uh, Wait, I want this one. So we have like the variable name. I messed up that thing, and we can have like a paras, right? So we have all the paras over here, and we have the para saver thing over here, and yeah. So we have the save para function in this thing. we have to change the database structure, man, and all. But the thing is, we cannot efficiently search in those files. It doesn't matter if that things comes in the title, then it will be like the title stuff, which we don't want. We also want to search on the paras, right? And I don't want to crawl through the paras. I'm pretty sure like the searching will be too slow. Whatever the thing is, let's move ahead. I'm sure that like this is not going to be a great, very great search engine, something like that, but it will be something. Okay, let's start building the other side of the thing. I mean, the web server, okay? So that we have a little bit change of like mind about what we are building and we feel better. So yarn add express, that will be the main backend server which we'll be having. In the front end, we'll not be using React. I was thinking of using React, but right now I think we should use normal HTML because we don't have like a lot of things there. Yeah. So let's start coding our Express server. So okay, uh, let's call it. We want a port, of course. So we'll say port at 8080, right? Uh, yeah, we can make that const, and then we can say app dot listen on that particular port, right? We can just log server started successfully, right? Next thing what we can do is we can just say app dot just for testing purposes, let's give a home route. So request response. Uh, yeah, let's send a response. So response dot, I think it's JSON, and then a message. So it will be like welcome to dumbass server, right? Yeah, and then let's actually make a 404 route. So if that is not hit, then we'll have like a all route which will say request response, and say response dot status 404 right, dot JSON. The result will be false. The message will be the the route you are searching for does not exist. Okay. This will be triggered if like none of the top above like route will be triggered. We'll be also making an error handler. So this is our error handler. So we'll have a request, we'll have a response, we have okay, we'll have a request response next, and this like error handler also has an extra property which is called error. So then what we can do is we just have that. Then we can say log the error out. You can basically check if it is production development, do all those kinds of shit. But right now I'll not be doing that. So I'll just simply say response dot send. So that will be a status 500 because that's an internal server error, right? And I can just send a JSON right now. Okay, I can send a JSON right now, and I can simply say message. There was some internal server error. Right? That's all, and the result will be false. Basically, the target is like every response will have some structure. The structure is like a message, right? A result and some data. So like as these doesn't have like a data because this doesn't have a data because this is not returning a data, right? So you can say app.use this error handler, right? So which will basically help it to what if there is any error, this will basically handle that. This is our Express server. Right now we need one more thing. We need a folder which will be called public. Okay, and this will be holding our front end logic, right? Front end, everything about front end will be there in this public folder. So how we can make this like workable? First of all, let's remove this. Okay, first of all, let's like go to a package.json file and write some scripts. So scripts, start crawler. Okay, yeah, I hope so the spelling is correct. So it will be node uh, crawler slash index.js start app will be for the app, for the Express server, right? What is the issue? What? Okay, it will be node index.js, and we also need nodemon. I don't know we have added it or not, so we'll just add it. We'll say yarn add slash t nodemon, which will basically restart our server if there is any changes, right? And then what we can do is we can just say start. So this is like a dev app, so like a development version of the app, right? So we can say this will be nodemon src slash index.js. This will be also src slash. By the way, this app's main, okay, that's fine. These are the scripts which we have, start and dev. So we'll be running dev app right now. We'll see does it even work. So we'll say yarn dev app. Yeah, the server started successfully. Let's go to the homepage and see like does it even like, we should have like leave this like running. I think there will be like thousands of files, but that's fine. Like right now we, even if we just, we can optimize this for this much result as well, that will be a big thing. Localhost. I think we are running on port 8080. Yeah, welcome to dumbass server. Congratulations. So our server is running all fit and fine, right? We can remove this one for now, and we say app.use express. It's called like express.static, right? And then we have to give a folder name. So public, which will be like this, like now this public folder will be used as a static content. So if I just write like index.html over here, and then like if I just do this, my dumbass server, dumbass, uh, right? So our dumbass search engine, right? Let's try it working, right? And right now, technically, if we just go here, see, it's working, right? So this is working because this is actually this makes it like this makes this as our home page, and we can serve this, right? So the next target is we'll be using Tailwind CSS because we hate using CSS. Okay, so Tailwind CSS CDN. Okay, we want to install it through CDN. We do not have a CLI. We do not have like this one, play CDN, right? So what is that? We have a script tag. That's shocking. Add a play CDN script head on your HTML and start using Tailwind utility classes to style your content. Okay. That's cool. Okay. So we can just copy this thing. We can like in like if you remember previous in like a Tailwind version 2 or something, we couldn't customize, right, in the CDN. But now there's like this thing called script. That's what I was saying. You can now customize and you can add your custom colors and stuff, whatever. So whatever this thing is, let's put the scripts over there, and I think this will be noticeable because this will, yeah, that's noticeable. You see this becomes small because of that. So the UI is going to be pretty not very great, but it will be good. I mean, so let's go width and just call it like screen. Yeah, that's it, right? And flex justify center items center, right? And then we can have like a div class flex, right? And then we'll write dumbass, but we'll be writing this in a cool way because we are cool. So span something like dump d, right? Class text blue 500 and the umbass dumbass. Now what we have to do is we have to change the color. So let's make it like red, uh, green, purple, uh, violet. What should we make? Black, uh, green again. Let's see how does it look. Yeah, it looks that looks good. Yeah, and then we can say text Excel. It should be like okay. We'll have to refresh this. We can say like 6XL so that like this blows off. Yes, that's the search engine we are creating, dumbass. Okay, uh, we need a search box below all this monstrosity, whatever this is. Uh, Actually, let's place this inside a div. The reason is like we want the input. Okay, this will be also a flex. Inside this, there will be an input and a button. So search. Right. Let's refresh. Yeah, this is an import. This is a button, right? The import is not having like any sort of style. That's why it is looking so boring, which we will not be, which we cannot see happening. We'll say border to border black, right? And width something like 96, right? And padding 3. So we need to refresh this. Oh, see, that looks so bad, but we don't care. Uh, we have this flex, right? I just agree this, and we can just have like this. We need to align everything inside this as well as like center. So in the flex in the column direction, and we can have like justify center item center. Yeah, finally we have it in center, right? And we need to have like a little good looking search button as well. So we can just place this below this, right? We can say class width maybe 46, padding 3, bg purple 700, text white, whatever. Uh, yeah, that looks good. And like this is a bit small, I believe. That's what my thinking is. This can we 10x? Can we do that? No, we cannot. So let's go like little bit custom over here. What we can do is we can just say style, right? And font size, and we'll set it to something like absurd 67 pt, and we can refresh this. That's the scale which we want. Yeah, for now this is what we want. The result showing page will be a different page, right, which will show the result. But yeah, we will like for this page, the core task for this page will be to just get the query from this thing and like send it. Like could we get the suggestions? I don't know. Could we do that? Okay. So first thing first, let's like create an API which can actually give us the suggestions over here, which like I feel lucky sort of suggestions, and we can click them and we can just move to our favorite website. It's 2 hours, man. That's strange. Okay, so yeah, I don't know how will that work. How should that work over here? By the way, in a normal case, like in a better way, you should do it in a different folder and all. But now I don't care. So it's a get slash. Let's make it a post request because the reason is we want some information from the user. So what should we do? Okay, let's make it a get request and let's be a little bit smarter this time. So like suggestions slash let's give it like a keyword, right? And then we'll have like a request and a response and a next thing, right? If any error goes, it will go to next thing, right? And next, what we could do is we can just have the keyword. Don't judge before by the spelling of word. That's how I've written it. Okay, I know the spelling of word, by the way. Yeah, don't make fun on that. If you want, you can. Whatever. Let's like that. That's the keyword, right? So how we can get this is request dot params dot keyword. Yeah. Hmm. Let's let me actually show you how this works. So if like I say response dot send keyword, right? I think my server is restarting, right? Yeah. So if I could show you, like if I could go to like localhost port 8080, localhost port 8080, right? Okay, I'm here. And let's say if I just go to suggestions slash uh hmm, suggestions slash what? That's the question. Suggestions slash test. You can see I'm getting test back because that's what it has been. This is really great. You can see this is really great, right? So whatever I'll be passing there, that's what I'll be getting as a param, and then actually I can have a query on my all the information which I've collected. When Google actually says that the mission of there is like them is like basically collect and organize information, they mean it actually. That's what they are actually doing. They collect, organize information, and make the way you are driving that really, really fast. By the way, that is like a damn the complexity of Google is like something else, and our thing is like literally dumbass. Okay, so first of all, let's actually we are having this keyword now. Our target is to basically go through the files, go through the database, and search for this, right? So let me like this first. uh, let's go to the database first. So first of all, what we'll do is we'll just connect to our database. So we will say SQLite is equal to uh, require SQLite 3 dot verbose, right? And then what we need is we need the DB. We can say uh, SQLite 3 dot database. And and we can say data.db, the same name. Remember to give the same name because that's where all our data is there. We can say new first. We do not need to do the initial setup because we are not creating any table or something because that's already there in that database. uh, we basically want to go to something like this. So we want to do like a db dot how to fetch data. I don't remember. It's from SQLite. It's works something like this. So it's like db dot SQLize function create table. We are not creating table. How to fetch information? Just can you tell me that? Uh, SQLite 3 node fetch info. Okay, this is a very cool website, SQLite tutorial. I think this has like everything which we need. So it's called all, and then we give SQL, and then we give params. and then you have like error and rows. So yeah, it's called all. That's the thing. It's called all. First of all, you give like whatever SQL you have. So it's a select all from, like, this is a very bad idea, selecting all. Selecting all from, mm, so we will only like okay, so there's something called like in SQL. See, I already told you like I'm not a very good like with SQL, but we'll try. Like in SQLite. Uh, what we can do is select where column one is like the pattern. Okay. So we can say select from whatever the table name what we have created in the crawler. Right. So we like it's like crawl data, something like that. Select from where title. What was the syntax? It was like title, like whatever the pattern is. Like, I can just put double quotes. Like, this is a very bad idea to do. Directly put whatever user has given in a SQL statement, because that will basically make your website hacked as usual. But we'll do this for now because we are, of course, this search engine is dumbass. So what more could you expect from this? This will be not like, this will be like title like like, where title like whatever keyboard it is. And I'm not pretty sure this is correct or not. We don't have like anything over here. And then we need like an error and a rows. Error and a rows, right? And then if there will be an error, right, what we'll do is we'll just say next error, so our error handler will handle that. And if there is no error, we'll say rows dot for each row log it, right? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's quickly hit this route. Wait, yeah, I think our console will be filled up because we didn't get any response. Wait, how is this possible? Okay, we I mean we send the request. It's not even responding to this. Like, this has been like fully done, and it's like it doesn't care. Is it even working, man? Like, if I just write response dot send, haha, this is working. Uh, also, oh yeah, this is working for sure, but we are not getting any data. That's the issue. Let's go and see the documentation a little bit better in a like in a good way. Uh, SQLite 3 fetch data for row and row print rows. Okay, so it's like execute, and then rows is like current dot cursor. It says like current is equal to con dot cursor. But is there any like a better way to do this? Hmm. So we give like this. That's a sequel. Wait, we are doing that. I mean, sure, we are doing that. I'm quite confident about that. Like 193 kilobyte. That's not a lot of data to actually go through, but select all from crawl data where title like this. Let's not filter it right now. Like let's try to do it like all. And let's not give this one right now. So like error and rows. So if there's an error, it goes to next, and else it goes like rows dot for each. Okay. So what if we just send this response over here? So we say rest dot send rows. How will that be? I don't know. Let's try that out. And if we don't send any request, what will happen? There was some internal error. Okay, finally we have some internal error, so we can actually examine things. So it's an error. It says no such table crawl dat. Okay. So first is we need data, right? So our server restarted, and we'll just try it again. It lost. Oh wait. Oh wait. We got the data. We got the data. We got the data. That's cool. We got the data. This is like every data which is there in there, which is quite cool. So there's like more than 5,000 entries, right? Now what we can do is we can just write like the query. So it's like so you can say where title is like whatever the user has given. So the user has given like a keyword. I can just give it like and quote, save it, and do it again. So uh, we can say Elon is like Elon, right? So it has like zeros. Like there's nothing called like wait. Why is there nothing now? I mean, we got all the data. So we have a title, right? Hmm. So how to write a search query in text in SQL? How to do that? In SQLite, I want. See, I'm not very good in SQL. I just agree that. Uh, okay. Introduction to SQL full text search in virtual table. Whatever this is. Create virtual table name. Why are we creating virtual tables, and what does that mean? Select all. Okay. Match FTS 5. So we get this because there's a match. Okay, so we can have like a match where posts match FTA 5, where Okay, we have something like this? If we can, that would be cool. Use second, use an equal operator in the where clause of the select, right? Hmm. So we can use like match. So can we do that? Like, I don't know. Let's try that. Where this match, whatever the user is given. So user has given the keyword. There was some internal sub error. Shit. There's some internal sub error. I think this is like database query issue. Again, so it says you are so it says no such column called, okay, so that's like, okay, match, let's call it title, right? And yeah, that might help. Come on. Okay, there was some sort of internal sub error again. We need to watch what is the error now. The error is unable to use function match in the requested context. It cannot use match in this requested context. I didn't get that. That's fine. Hmm. Like, is this has something to do with this create virtual table? The following create virtual table creates an FTS5 table with two columns. Create virtual table. Okay, like, do we need a virtual table for this? I don't know. Can we not do it without actually doing this virtual table thing? Select title from book, where title is like, okay, let's use this query. I don't know. Like will work. Uh, okay. So let's try to do it again. I mean, till now where we are getting like, this is empty. Okay. I'll be doing this the most ridiculous thing which I should not do, but whatever we are doing is ridiculous only. But we'll do it right now. We'll be handling this thing right now, like directly, right? So technically we'll have like this as an output right now. If I just refresh this, I like everything as an output right now, but I'll just filter it out. So I'll just say dot filter rows dot filter, right? uh Row, right? uh Row dot whatever title, right? Row dot title dot split, right? With the space dot index of in, index of, right? Whatever keyword the user has given is, if it is not equal to -1. So let's see, does it like help or not? Why is it going to 0? Or maybe like this. Okay, happy, nothing. and we only want to send certain titles which this whatever contains this word. By the way, uh, let's call it like let titles and id, let titles be an array, right? And we can have like rest dot for each rows dot for each row, right? We have the title, right? So this is row dot title, and then you can say title dot to this is a string, right? So what we can do is uh, string has a function to uppercase. There's a function called to uppercase, right? So if we just make a string like, let's say let f be equal to like this one, if I can say test dot to uppercase, right? So there's a function. So I'll just transform everything to uppercase, to uppercase, right? And same with this keyword, right? So I can say if title dot split dot with the spaces, right? And then we can say dot index of, or the dot find, right? uh, word, right? Word dot word is equal to I can say word is equal to keyword dot to uppercase, right? If that is true, then we say title dot push, titles dot push, right? Whatever the current title is, right? And then we can say response. Okay, this is like and then we can say response dot send title. Let's see, does that work? Does that even work or not? We don't have anything related to it. Oh man, oh man, oh man, it's working. It's working, it's working, it's working. We can have like file. This does have file. We can have like taste. There's nothing called taste. We can have like a rocket. We have like rocket. That's cool, that's cool. We have something. We have this working. So we just have to do like this get request, and we can get like suggestions out of the database, which is not at all an efficient way to do. You can just suggest me some SQL queries which can do that like much more in a much more proper way. But yeah, that's what it is. I will just copy this from here, go to HTML, and what should I do? Uh, I should actually write over here a script dot js file, right? And a script.js file, and we can have like the button, search button is equal to document dot get element by id, right? And we can say search, right? And then we can go to this index and search button, right? So you can just give STARCH search, right? And let's load the result in this results whatever. So we'll just say this to have a right ID result, right? And let rest be is equal to document dot get element by ID result. Now some of you might say it like I should use query selector, but that's my preference to use ID. Let's use the result. Okay, first thing what we'll do is write a function to search and put result, and result. uh, okay, and now I'll be using that thing which you should never do. So I'm doing everything which you should never do in this. Okay, this is not a tutorial or lesson, but I just want to test this hypothesis, that can I make my own search engine. So search and put result. Okay, it will be like some HTML, right? I can just for now I can just set it empty. I can say I want a result which will be okay. So we need to fetch from here as well. So this will need like a keyword, this thing. Then I can say this will be an async function over here, right? So I can do like async function. I can do like try catch, but I'll not be doing that right now. So I can say terms, right, is equal as like a response, right? This will be a response, and I can say fetch. The URL is like this one. I have to place the keyword, but this will be a backtick. So this will be like HTML, no keyword, whatever keyword you give, and this will be an await because this returns a promise, right? And then we have like data, which will be rest.json, right? Now we have to write await over here as well because for obvious reasons. Then we can say data.forEach, right? Sorry, data, right? D or result R, whatever. And we can say HTML plus equal to we'll have like div. Okay, we can have some styles, of course. We can say box shadow. We'll think about the styles later on. First, let's actually give the R over here, okay. And then I can say result dot inner HTML is equal to whatever HTML we made. And then I can say a search button dot on click is equal to search, whatever this is. Okay, let's try this out. First of all, we'll have to link this which we have not done. So we'll do it over here. So we'll say script src dot slash script.js, which will basically link this. And let's try our website now. Let's open the terminal because I'm sure there will be errors. Wait. Test. It's not working. It's not working. So my reason might be like I haven't refreshed this. So test learn. I don't have like any like sort of let's log I'm working. Something is happening. I don't know what. Let's log this data out. Even like, am I getting any data or not? Like, I just want to see. Like, what if we write rocket? I'm pretty sure there's like data with rocket. It's coming empty. That's just like shocking. Okay, we are not passing the keyword. That's the issue. Okay, that's fine. will get the keyword by the input, right? So what we can do is we can just say the input we can give like, okay, what are we doing over here? We can just give some ID to this. We can say keyword, something like that. Let's copy this thing up, and we can just say that uh, let input let in let txt be equal to uh, document dot get element by id, this id, and then what we can do is we can say let keyword be equal to txt dot value, no value, no, we want only value, and then we can pass this keyword over here, right? And let's see, does it like even work or not. Let's refresh this. Let's write rocket over here. Let's search this. Oh, we are getting some sort of response, but we want like this to be like auto complete. So whenever we type, this happens, right? So what we can do is we can just say, instead of doing this, we can just do like txt dot on change. Okay, we can have this done. So this will be real time then. So if we just refresh this now, we can have like r o c vt. It's not happening now. There's some sort of issue now. So we have an event, right? So we can say event dot target dot value, event dot target dot value, right? So what if like we do now? So like, is it like, oh my god, we have lot of response. Okay, the problem is that I think the previous one is not getting. Okay, the previous one is getting. It says data dot for each is not a function now. So if what if we just type rocket? Okay, it's a bit slow. Okay. Okay. The next thing is we have to make this look super good. So let's give it some class, right? Give it some class. Uh, let's call it like suggestion. What if we just say like text excel? Will it work? I'm pretty much sure it will not. Yeah, it's working. It's working. It's working. That's cool. So if like those classes are working, we can do a lot of things. We can say the width should be 96, right? There should be a padding of like padding x of 3, right? And padding y of 2, right? And we can have like a little bit of shadow. Yeah, right. uh we can go to result, right? And we can just provide some classes. We can say this will have like a maximum height of 56 and overflow y scroll, right? So that this has like some decent looking looks. So if we write a long, come on, send me some data. Yeah, we have some data. Man, it's looking sick. Just tell me this is not looking sick. This is looking great, right? Right, right, right. Okay. So uh, I mean, I just want to say in the script we have given it like width 96. I think this should be like more than this. So let's define it in pixel. So let's give it like a little bit style, and let's call it like width is like 600 pixel, right? Let's try that out right now. Refresh this. Let's write Elon Musk. Elon Musk. Will it work now? Yeah, it's working. It's working, guys. It's working. I mean, this is looking good, but not very good. I think we should have like about 200 less pixels. 500 would be fine. Let's search for rocket. See, it's dumbass. It's like very, very slow. Uh, okay. Can we use something like elong? Let's let it make like on click of this button, whatever this button is. What this button is? Search button dot on click. Then we can simply say that instead of this, we can have like txt, right? So that like not this is okay. This looks good. Next thing what we need is basically we need like we can click on any of these results and we can view this, right? So which I think I'll be doing tomorrow. So that's it for the part one, right? And viewing the result in a row, like we'll be doing that tomorrow, like through going para by para for every document and getting relevant things, maybe. This is like a dumbass version of Google. Thank you. Have a great day, guys, and enjoy. Peace out. Bye bye.